The arrays versus ranges issue in Excel strikes again. This causes so many problems to Excel users because it's just not clear what's happening in the background. I received this message recently. I have scoured the internet looking for an Excel formula that would sum visible rows based on the contents of another column. I tried many variations of the aggregate function, but unfortunately I had no luck. And this is because of the arrays versus ranges issue. So in this video, we're going to solve this question, but also understand what this issue is and how we can solve it. So if you're ready, let's get started. Here is our example file, and if you want to download this and work along, you can follow the links in the video description box below. Our file has 4 columns: item, region, size, and value. And we're going to start by looking at the aggregate function. Equals aggregate. Now, aggregate is a fantastic function. It has lots of different calculation options. You can see those in the list there. Let's choose sum, which is number 9. Then it can ignore certain elements. For example, it can ignore subtotal and aggregate functions. It can ignore hidden rows or errors. For our example, we're going to choose 5, which is ignore hidden rows. We then have the array that we want to calculate this over. So I will select my value column on my data table. I'll close that bracket, I'll calculate. Now this is currently summing all of those items. But if we filter, for example, where our region is equal to north, you can see it only sums those visible rows. So if we add up all of those, it adds up to 349. That is the beauty of the aggregate function. It can ignore hidden rows. So that is the basic aggregate function, but that's not our scenario. In our scenario, we want to sum the visible rows, but also where a specific condition is met. And this is where we get the arrays versus ranges issue. So let's go take a look. I'm going to start by removing the filter. And let's suggest that our scenario is that we want to sum only the visible cells where the size is equal to small. To do that, we might create this kind of logic. Equals if, open bracket, our size is equal to small. In that scenario, we want to return the value. Otherwise, we want to return 0. I'll close that and calculate. That now gives us the values that we need. So if our size is large, it returns 0. We could also try another approach. Equals, we're going to take our value multiplied by the condition, where size is equal to small. So what happens there is that size equals small, there is a test of true or false, and then that's multiplied by the value. So that gets us exactly the same result. Once again, if something is large, it returns 0, but if it's small, it returns a number. So why don't we just add this into our aggregate function? I will take our if statement, and let's paste this into our range here. I'll paste that, commit that, and it returns the hash value error. Let's try our other method. I'll copy that, and then let's once again edit our formula. Delete that, paste, calculate, and again we still get the hash value error. And this is because the aggregate function requires a range and not an array. The distinction here is important. A range has visible presence on the grid, and each cell has a coordinate of the column letter and the row number. Therefore, we can refer to any value. And because these items have presence on the grid, Excel knows whether that row is hidden or not. But if something is an array, that's just a collection of values. And those values don't have any properties around visibility. That array exists in memory. It doesn't exist on the grid with any visible presence. Now, you might be thinking, but I didn't use an array. I can clearly see ranges inside my formula. However, as soon as we perform a direct calculation on the values, it converts them into an array. Or if we have a function that doesn't return a range, that also creates an array. So in both of those scenarios, even though we've used ranges, we have converted them into arrays. And that's what we've then passed into the aggregate function. So how can we overcome this scenario? Well, let's go and take a look at two possible solutions. Because we're working with a table, we can use this to our advantage. In cell F4, I'm going to type include. This will expand our table, and in here we're going to enter a formula that determines whether we include or exclude each row from our calculation. I'll type equals, and we will use aggregate. We want to use count A. This checks whether something has any value in it at all. Once again, we want to ignore hidden rows. And this time, the array we want to sum is just our individual row. When I close that and calculate, each row currently displays 1 because each of those rows are visible. If I type equals and select that first cell, if I change my region to north and click OK, that now returns 0 because that value isn't visible. So we've now got a switch. Once for visible, 0 for not visible. Let me unfilter these values. So now we could use a simple calculation, equals sum, and we want to sum our values multiplied by where we have our include argument, and also multiplied by where our size is equal to small. I'll close that bracket at the end, and when we calculate, we get the value of 651, which is summing just the small items. Let's now change our region to north. I'll click OK, and we get 252, which is those 3 items. However, this scenario can also cause us some problems. Let's suggest that we change our formula from sum to average. When we calculate that, you see the value is 21. But how can it be 21? The 3 values that meet our condition are all bigger than that. So how is 21 the answer? Well, it's because for every value which is not small and not visible, it calculates 0. And all those zeros are included in that average calculation. So for sum it works, but for average it doesn't. But we can use a different approach. Rather than average, let's edit our formula. We're going to use filter. And we want to filter on our value column where all of those conditions are met. So we don't need the value, but we do want the conditions. When we calculate that, it now returns the 3 numbers which meet that condition. And then we can wrap this in whatever aggregator we wish. So we could wrap it in an average, and that now calculates the correct value. We could also wrap that in a sum. And once again, we get exactly the right value. So that's an approach we can take if we're working with a table and we're happy to add an include column. But if we're not happy to do that, then there is another approach if we're using a modern version of Excel. Let's start by unfiltering our column. And then let's create our calculation over here. We're going to start with aggregate once again. Aggregate, opening bracket. We're going to use count A, which is 3. And then we want to ignore hidden rows, which is 5. And then we want to declare which cell we want to look at. And we're going to look at our value column. I'll close that and I'll calculate, and it returns the value of 1 because that cell is visible. Now in theory, we could copy down this formula and it would calculate for every row. But if our data expands automatically, we would have to keep copying down that formula. So let's make this fully dynamic. Rather than referencing our specific cell, we're going to create a placeholder called C. So we want to aggregate using a count A, ignoring hidden rows on something called C. We now have to tell Excel that we've created this thing called C. And to do that, we use the LAMBDA function. We create C. Now Excel knows that C exists. But what values do we want to use for C? Then here we can use the BYROW function. Use BYROW. Let's select our range of values. And now we're passing each value into that calculation as C. I'll calculate, and we now get 1 for each value. Let's test this once again. I'll select that first cell, and if we filter to north, you'll notice that that now returns 0 because that row is hidden. Let's view that all again, and now let's add this calculation into our filter. So I'll copy the formula, and rather than referencing the include column, we're going to paste our formula, and when we calculate, that gives us exactly the same result. We haven't used our include column, we've used this BYROW and LAMBDA combination. So once again, when we filter for where our region is north, we get the correct value. And also, this will still work whether we use sum or average or some other aggregator, because we're filtering those values down first to the relevant items before we then aggregate them together. In this video, we've seen the aggregate function. We've seen the differences between ranges and arrays and how they cause the aggregate function to break. And we've also seen 2 workarounds to show how we can make ranges and arrays work together. Now, we do have a free course called Modern Excel Formulas that goes deeper into this difference between ranges and arrays and really explores how we can calculate with arrays in Excel. And if you want to take that free course, you can just follow the links in the video description box below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.